How to make the right choice when it comes to life-changing decisions. To a certain degree, you will never 100% know which one is the right decision until you tried it out and actually went for it. However, that doesn't mean that there aren't certain ways or certain techniques that you can use in figuring out what the best decision might be. It doesn't matter if it's a small decision or a big decision. Making decisions sometimes can be very intimidating and something that we're trying to avoid because we are scared of making the wrong choice. Hello and welcome back to today's video. So we're going to look on how to make challenging decisions a little bit easier so you feel more certain and more confident about making those decisions. To make sure that you get the best resources, I am currently working on trying to put all the resources that I have gathered over the year into one place. As soon as I have it, I will put it down below. With that being said, we're going to jump into the actual video. There are 3 points that I want to look at with you today. The first one is some general information on what to keep in mind when it comes to making decisions. The second one is about making decisions from a point of desires and what you really want. And the third one is about making decisions from a point of fear and what you're scared of. The third one is actually my favorite one when it comes to making really challenging decisions, and whenever I use that technique, it's so much easier for me to actually go with it without doubting or second guessing and be like, okay, this is what I've decided and I'm gonna go for it and I'm not gonna doubt myself anymore. First, let's look on some general challenges when it comes to making decisions. So people are often scared to make decisions because they're scared that it's going to be the wrong one. The thing to keep in mind if this is something that you are struggling with are the following points. Number one is no choice is also a choice. So you gotta be aware of the fact if you are not making a choice, you are making a choice. And basically it's the choice that you are not changing or not deciding. Even by not making a decision, it will have consequences. Either someone else is going to decide for you and you have to just accept whatever has been decided for you, or it can actually be that your life will continue the way it has been up until now. So the question to ask yourself, if I'm not making this decision that I actually want or need to make, is it okay for me to continue the life as it is right now? So the next time where you feel like, oh, I can't decide, be just aware of the fact that you are deciding in that moment. And I don't want you to be harsh or mean or like, oh my God, I'm such a failure because I can't decide. It's nothing like that. But I just want you to be aware of the fact that not making a decision is also making a decision. And it will bear consequences with it as well. The second thing that I want you to keep in mind is that often we are scared of decisions because we are scared of the consequences and are not sure if this is what we really want. However, most of the decisions that we make are reversible. So we often try to make decisions and contemplate, yeah, but what about this and what about that? The truth is that even if either of those scenarios might happen, with most decisions, you can just be like, okay, it didn't work out the way I thought it would, but you can always, readjust and find a different way and correct your decision. Of course, this depends what kind of decision you are making. If you're like, I don't know if I want to have a child or not, and you're like, I'm just going to try it out, and then you figure out, oh, I don't want to be a parent. That is one of the decisions that you cannot really reverse. But if your decision is something like, oh, I really would desire to go to that country and live there and try out that life. I mean, worst case is that you're going to go there, you're going to end up broke, and you might have to start from zero. So the consequence might be a setback, but whatever that setback is, it's nothing that you cannot work through again or figure out or resolve, even if the worst case scenario does happen. So ask yourself this question: is it something that even if I fail, well, it might not be the most pleasant experience, but there is a way out and I can figure it out? The last thing to keep in mind when it comes to making important or big decisions is you will never be 100% sure. There's always going to be that part that feels uncertain, and it's about accepting that and embracing it and be like, you know what? I will not know until I've tried it out. Being aware of this fact, it's about taking off the pressure of having to feel 100% certain when often, especially if it's a decision that will lead you into the unknown, you will never feel 100% certain. Now let's look at the first technique that I want to share with you on helping you making important decisions. And you might actually already be familiar with this technique as it is widely known, and it is the rocking chair exercise. Basically, what you do is you imagine yourself at 90 years old in a rocking chair, looking back at your life. You're gonna think about the decision that you wanna make, and then you're gonna look back at your life and ask yourself, would I regret if I haven't done that thing? For example, if you wanna move to Italy and you imagine yourself at 90 years old, you're just gonna look at it. Would I regret if I never went? And just see, how does it make you feel? Is there like a yearning of, oh, I wish I really did that? Or it's like, oh, I don't really care. It's just imagine the decision that you want to make from the perspective of your 90 years old self and how you feel about that decision. What this exercise does, it gives you great insight on what it is that you truly desire. The other technique that I want to share with you that comes basically from your fears and what you're scared of is the technique of choosing your future regrets. Basically, it's the exact opposite of what the rocking chair exercise does. So with the rocking chair exercise, you're imagining yourself at 90 years old and you're looking back on your life. But with the choosing your future regrets, what you do is you are in the present moment and look into the future and see what could possibly go wrong and which one am I willing to face. Basically, what you need to do is you're going to write two lists. You're going to think about the decision that you need to make, and you're going to write down all the positive things that might come out of it. And at the same time, on the other side, you're going to write down all the things that can go wrong. Once you have written those two lists, I want you to look at the negative list of the things that might go wrong and look at the one that really, really scare you and just ask yourself, am I willing to pay that price? In hopes that the other side might come true. Let's take the example of Italy again. So you might have this desire, I'm going to live in that country because you like the culture, you've been there on vacation and you just really want to experience it. But at the same time, you're really scared, like, what if I never or hardly see my family ever again? What if I'm going to be lonely? What if I don't find a job and go totally broke? So by asking your question, am I willing to pay the price or am I willing to face that consequences? You're taking the fear out of it because it's like, I'm going into this fully aware that this might be something that I face, but it's worth it. This is the technique that I personally have used the most because I find it incredibly powerful, because it's like, no matter what, self-talk that I might have, but even what other people might say to me, it's like, it doesn't matter because I've made up my mind that I'm going to face this negative consequence in hopes of, getting everything that I want. I really hope this will help you to make those challenging decisions a little bit easier. So I hope you find this helpful. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.